Welcome to Real Talk, Real Women Breaking the Silence Around Abuse. I am Gemma Serenity Gorokov, your host, and today we have the honor of having Radavie Riom joining us. Thank you for being here today, Radavie. It's such an honor to have you.
I'm so delighted to be of service to women through my own personal experience, starting when I was 2 years old, my conscious memory, my 2-year-old, and what happened.
All right, so please tell us a little bit about life. Let's start with a very simple question. What kind of abuse did you overcome in your life? What is your...
Sure. So my first memory, my first conscious memory was when I was 2 years old. And I did not like malted milk drink. A, a, it's like a milkshake. Let's put it like that. I did not like it. And so everyone was gone to school, and I'm there with the housekeeper and my little sister. And I asked her, my mother brought the milkshake into the room, and she said if I didn't drink it, I was threatened. I was really threatened. So I was scared. And when she left, I told the housekeeper, I said, will you drink it? You drink it? So because she said, I'm coming back to check with you. And so when she came back, so the housekeeper drank the milk. And when my mother came back to check to see what happened with the milk, the housekeeper said I threw it through the window. So my mother grabbed me and took me to another bedroom and really beat me. And then wasn't finished. She put me in a little storeroom as the rest of the punishment. So the trauma and the wounding of that was many ways. The housekeeper lied. That's the one that hurt. And the second one, my mother threatened me and abused me and locked me into a room. So there are many different pieces of that one experience that affected me. And I remember when the housekeeper, I saw her go into our shop because we had a little good shop. She's no longer on the job. And I remember walking in and I saw her and I walked out. It's the first time I ever felt hate because it was very painful.
At,
Or at 2 years old,
towards the housekeeper for having lied and having enabled your mom to carry out her threat?
Yes, yes,
Because
yes.
you did not like the
And
meat.
well, and I have to tell you that maybe before that, but I'm talking about my conscious memory.
Yeah.
Before that, I was a breech, and my mother was told that she could die in childbirth. So when I was a breech, my mother went through 3 days of labor, and I couldn't be born because of the position I was in. The midwife literally pulled me out. So my mother, when she's upset with me, would tell me I came to kill her. That to tell a little innocent child, you came to kill me, was a very devastating feeling. So then my mother and I parted ways. I put a wall between me and her. And so I stepped away and walked away. And growing up, I left all my childhood traumas and pain because there are other things that happened. I was sexually molested, so that's another thing. And I felt annihilated from my family because I stepped away from them. I felt different, and I felt I don't belong there. And I remember many times I would sit by myself because I was very contemplative. Remember it so clearly. Well, before that, at 4 years old, was another defining moment when I went to Sunday school because we didn't go to church. My father was Chinese, so he had a different culture. But I heard about God, 4 years old, and it awakened something in my soul that became a tapestry, the golden thread that is in the tapestry of my entire life this time. It was a moment that held me. And I want to tell your listeners too, in spite of your abuse and what happened to you, look for a moment. Look for a moment because I think it's always there where grace happens. Grace is there. Hold on to that. Hold on to that. Don't ever keep lamenting on the pain, the wounding. So at 5 years old, that's 4 years old, 5 years old, I would sit by myself. I remember it very clearly, and I said, why am I here? I wanted to know, why am I here? Because I was still into a little bit of that expansive state. I was not quite third dimension yet. So I could feel it even now. There was a spaciousness and a mystery because I do not have the answer. Why and why was I born? So those were the beginning of experience this traumatized world because it is a traumatized world. And I don't want to downplay it. We are here to uplift ourselves and to remember the essence of our being.
So if I summarize the few key elements that you shared with us, at 2 years old, you have this absolutely devastating experience of being threatened, and then the threat being carried on again, beaten, locked in a small room, and you feel hate for the first time at 2 years old. It's like, wow. Then 4 years old, you have another experience, but that is more in terms of connection with the divine.
Yes.
Throughout your childhood, you get molested, so you also have that experience of ununderstandable adult behavior toward a child who cannot connect and understand what this is all about. And that breaks the growing up, the growth, the raising of a child. It breaks the child's brain to connect. And then from there are two options: hypersexuality or hyposexuality. It's one or the other, but a healthy, balanced, divine sexual connection with unity, with all the beauty of creation, that requires a tremendous level of healing in order to experience it fully after molestation and after sexual abuse. So you also have that. So now what you tell us is that at 5 years old, you are wondering the same question than much later on in life. We ask ourselves, why am I here? But you also got your mother telling you when you were so small of a child, such a toddler, a small child, here is the reason why you came on earth to be, to kill me. Woohoo! So because you also had that early on planted in your child's
my
brain,
mind. Yes, yeah.
then that question started to already pop in, because somewhere in you it was like, that is impossible. I did not come here to kill you. That does not make sense at all, because you are still connected to the etheric world. You are still not fully, completely in your human experience yet. About
Right.
7 years when we completely forget about that spiritual and completely step into our human experience. So there is still that 7 first years where we are still like in between. We are etheric, perfect little beings, even though we can already do some bad things, but it is still completely innocent. Like we are
Oh,
not
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
consequences whatsoever of what we do and the consequence of our saying, our thoughts, our actions, or anything. That is huge. So with that as a starting point, I can easily imagine that throughout your life, and you are in the last big period of your life now, throughout your life you probably had a lot of difficult experience, because you took with you these early childhood trauma until
Yes,
you actually like release all of that. So
yes.
my question for you, because we are just here a total of half an hour, so we cannot go into all the details of everything. What I really want is people to understand already your origin. There is a moment in time when you have an awakening, a spiritual awakening, a becoming aware of your soul purpose, of the reason why you are here. There is a shift in consciousness. What is that key transition moment for you?
Oh,
When? At about
yes.
what age? What happens?
So, I'll just quickly share that my survival, I think it's survival. I walked away from my family and my memories. I said, those memories belong to the little girl and it's not mine, and I am walking away from it. But a defining moment occurred when she actually stood in front of me. And I thought, I don't want to see you. Just go. Just go. I mean, I was really upset. I never talked about any of my wounding to anyone. There was so much shame and feeling not good enough or lack that it covered over. And I carried a sadness that just was very aware of that. But anyway, finally, after 3 weeks of her standing there looking in my eyes with such sadness, I knew that I had to connect her with me out of the blue. So, what I did, I went and I knew that I had to go through my own self healing. I discovered that the emotions is what I call the Velcro that covers over the memories and the pain. I had to get that off, and so I went through my own self healing. And that's when I recognized I was learning because I'm here. We're all here to with a soul agreement. We all, every one of us. And I realized I'm here to break the code of human conditioning because I felt it, experienced it. I experienced what humanity goes through. And and that's the beginning of my healing journey. I
Mm,
had to let the emotions out.
mm, mm.
We have to feel it out,
Mm.
whichever way you want to feel it, but it has to touch your heart, not stuck in your mind.
Because our beingness is so much more than a brain or a mind. There are so many different layers of bodies that makes our entire multi-dimensional being. And the physical is just one manifestation of it.
Yes.
As we
Yes. And so to answer your question, because remember I said God was like the golden thread in the tapestry of my life. In spite of that wounding, in spite of what I went through, there was this God that held the space in my heart. And so I moved into spiritual matters, always there. And I would listen to the Awaken teachers. I was really involved in that. And so I was on a plane going back because I'm from the island of Jamaica. I was flying in the plane, reading one of those Awaken books, and immediately, this belief self, the ego self, the identification self, just plunk down the aisle. And I'm seeing it for a split second. Oh my God. I knew that all my spiritual work and all of this thing that I believe I was doing right was coming from my belief self. And that is something I really want listeners to believe, when we believe they're in the right place. So we believe we're doing good, but we are in judgment. We're in judging other people, and yet we say we are spiritual. You're stuck in an identification. You're not. And this is why the word spiritual now, because I went through it. I know we have a short time. I can't tell you anymore about how I experienced through my own experience what about spirituality. So when that happened, I the only person I could tell was my husband, because I don't think anybody would have gotten it or understand what the hell are you talking about. And that's when I started to peel off more and more of the veils on the word that's coming to me, the veils of deception. Deception, when someone treats you with abuse and clothe you over with all those pain, it's a major deception to the essence of what we are. And how we are wrapped in it. We are wrapped in it. And we start to really believe it's true.
Hmm. So understanding the depths of your awakening to who you truly are, to your spark within, the spark of life, the spark of light, the spark of God that lives within you, within me, within all of us.
Every one of us, yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes. Yes.
I know I am currently reading your book, which is absolutely divine. It is fully inspired. I know it because every time I read even one paragraph, I feel my entire body going into, oh, yes, full body, yes, I know it's true. It's beautiful. So just tell us the title of your book, and there you can know one thing in the description. There is the entire of your book available.
I'll show you the book. I'll show your listeners the book. And the book, Awaken to Inner Peace in the Midst of Chaos. Freedom from human conditioning.
That's beautiful.
And I can tell you, listeners, that it is possible. Why do I say it's possible? Not because I think it, because I live it. I've moved from where I was 2 years ago and through the knowingness of something else is here waiting for all of us. And then the messages came. I got messages because my soul had agreed, unknown to me at the time, that these messages were very important for humanity to hear. They told me they want people to know, because and I read something to you to you to your listeners that I wrote. One of the messages, a couple of messages that the divine, and they told me we're divine sparks. So every listener that is hearing this, it doesn't matter how wounded you were, nothing could have harmed the essence of your being. No one can touch your essence. Of course, the memories and the imprint of that is here. And that's why we have to go through our emotional healing. It's just important. So from the book, there are a couple of things, because there are many, many things they told me. That we, the sparks, have a direct link to God, spirit, whatever adults choose to call source. We have a direct link. And when you listen to that, don't listen from your thinking, listen from your heart, and knowing when you read that book. So there is another thing I picked out. We are reaching out to the identity of personhood to team up with us, to get us out of imprisonment and change the course of living in shame and fear. We cannot release ourselves without you, the adults.
Talk about spiritual awakening. Talk about like that connection with the divine within, which is that spark, connection with the essence of our being.
And we are from the one flame of God, divine, whatever word I want to use. We all those people who are in pain, we are from that one flame, the sparks, the divine sparks. And I am so passionate, to bring this forward, because I know through my own experiences how locked away the essence of our being is. And when the first thing, I didn't put that in the book, but there's a vision I had of this 3-year-old little boy with one hand up in the air with a golden key. And he said to me, we are here to help the adults, but first they have to take us out of imprisonment. Similar to this that was said. And the golden key I recognize are the messages. That was, we are here to help the adults. I realized we have the messages to help the adults, but you have to release all those beliefs and wounding that was thrown on you. Otherwise, we'll be locked away still. Because you will be locked away in the pain and the despair of what happened to you. Yeah.
Thank you for being a beacon of light to guide us back to our divine spark within.
I am so passionate. And I say I'm the messenger. I'm a messenger. I just have a message to hand you. I want people to know what they are. Yeah.
Wow. Radavie, when I said it's an honor to have you, I knew exactly why I was saying that. And I say it with even more love and respect and admiration and divine connection with you, soul connection with you. It is such an honor to have the chance to talk with you in human form in that same time right now, and to share that conversation with the audience, with our listeners. That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
I'm just so I am just so grateful when I can pass these messages on. I'm so grateful. And I have nothing to hide about my past. Nothing. Because I don't have the identity to feel shame or how could they do this to me? It brought me to a place of my soul's agreement with a real feeling. It's not what I read in a book. I'm speaking about something that is designed and beautiful with a strong feeling.
I understand
And
that.
the memory. And the memory. Yeah.
We have your book. We are listing all your links to make sure to connect with you. Do you also run a group program or something to help people to hold their
I
head?
will be making a group program, yes, very
Okay.
soon. And now I offer a 20-minute complimentary
Okay.
to people who want to know more, or to just, I'm very empathic and I see through their longing to come home. I see it. And
Beautiful. Thank you, Radavie. I'm very grateful to have you today.
Devon, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to be able to bring that out because I don't commonly talk about the pieces that I shared with you, but some of it is in the book, and the book is just to remind us we're sacred beings. We are sacred. I don't care what they said to you. I don't care. That was the illusionary aspect of being in this third dimension.
Thank you.